And we're live here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive. I'm really excited for another interview. We have Stacey-Anne here today, and Stacey has a lot she's going to share with us. So, Stacey-Anne, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Derek. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So, let's find out who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Stacey-Anne Bistak. I'm a holistic nutritionist, and I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Now, I did not start out as a holistic nutritionist, even though I was brought up quite naturally. My parents emphasized everything natural while I was growing up. I didn't have fancy conditioners and shampoos. My dad said no to those because he said, they have chemicals in them. And of course, at that time, I didn't know any better. And I thought, oh, I can't be like the other girls and have their hair all flouncy and nice, But I thought, okay, dad knows best. So, well, that was the start. And all throughout, natural remedies were the ones that we employed. My mom used to be famous for her concoctions for, coughs and colds and even the dreaded flu. And she had other natural therapies too. But then, life went on and I became a programmer and I came over to Canada and life got very busy. And here everyone said, the healthcare system is good. So I relied on the pharmaceuticals because everybody was doing it and I was living a fast-paced life. And after the programming stint, I went into technical writing. I was there at IBM Canada for 6.5 years, and life got even more busy because, I mean, busier because of deadlines, deadlines after deadlines. And that's the time I brought my parents over, and they had some health challenges. And through the course of those years is when I made the transformation into holistic health. And that's where I am.
That's really cool. So, you were programming, and then you got into writing, and you just got busy that you were doing the Western medicine thing and then decided that it wasn't working, or what was the shift
Yes,
that
yeah,
got
the
you
shift.
back?
Yeah, I have to tell you about the shift. So my dad had some mobility challenges because he had an accident prior to coming over to Canada. And so my mom was his primary caregiver while I was working the busy jobs and everything. And um, and it was manageable for some time. He was on medications because they found he needed a few different things to be under control. And so I went with that. And it was fine for some months. And then he got a TIA, which is a trans ischemic attack, which is a mini stroke. And after that, he was put on even more medications. And it was fine for a little while. He was getting back with the therapies and everything. And then he got so many side effects. And I didn't know they were side effects at the time. I thought they were yet another disease manifesting, and that's what we thought. And so, of course, we went to the doctor and got even more medications. And so it was medications over medications, and dad was not getting any relief. And so I thought, okay, this is not how I grew up, at least, and not how my parents grew up. So something may not be agreeing with him. It just came to me, and I think God just inspired me to think of it that way. And it was timely because um, I did do a bit of research. I did some courses on nutrition, but I was not certified at the time. But I did a lot of research, and my training, in technical writing, um, gave me those research skills. So I was good at research, and having transitioned at that time into the natural health field, I had access to some good alternative doctors who I could pick their brains about certain things. So I did my research and then found out that actually it was the medications that were causing all these other symptoms for which they gave him even more medications. And it was the drug interactions and everything that was causing mayhem in his body. And so I thought, okay, this is not how our body should be assaulted. There are natural things that God created that are so much more effective because I'd seen it as I was growing up. With the natural remedies, you don't have after effects, you don't have side effects. And so I started employing a few things that actually gave Dad relief. And then I made the bold step of going to the doctor and asking the doctor if I could actually take Dad off some of the medications. And of course, I have a small frame. And the doctor looked me up and down and said, he must have thought to himself, like, who is this minuscule person, questioning my judgment? But I persisted. But I mean, they said no to many things. But I thought, okay, let me do my own research. And then I found that Dad was on statins. And, after the stroke, of course, he had more problem walking. And we had, got him physical therapy, but that was working, but not working. And in the beginning, it was working. And then no matter how he was trying and trying, and the physical therapy was being implemented, he was just not progressing. And so I thought, okay, let me look into the side effects of all these medications. And I took it on myself to do that. And I saw statins. They cause muscle weakness. I said, okay, that's the cause of Dad not progressing anymore. And so I knew the doctor wouldn't allow him to be taken off the statins because I remember he said, now Dad has to be on statins all his life. This is a lifelong thing. So I didn't even go to the doctor. I made the bold step of just taking it into my hands, doing my own research, finding the natural remedies that could replace the statins, and gradually weaning him off myself. And after the course of a few months, he was off the statins completely, and his muscle strength actually got back, little at a time. But it was very noticeable. So I thought, okay, there's one victory. Let's see what else I can do. And then I knew Mom, she was in the process of caregiving, and she was, tired and exhausted. And because we got help, but she wanted to keep at the nighttime routines and taking care of Dad herself, which, made her break rest and lose sleep and all of that. So she was getting migraines more often. I mean, she had had them all her life, but it was becoming more frequent. And so I thought, okay, this is not something that she should be suffering with on top of all that she's doing. So I looked into helping her, get some relief with that. And I implemented some nutrition and supplemental protocols. And now Mom was a very compliant client. I'm glad she was, because after the course of a few months, actually, I would say 8 months, actually, even at the point of 3 months, she had much fewer migraines and less intense. But after 8 months, they were completely gone and they didn't come back. So now, those were some, uh, miraculous victories, I could say. And my parents were my first clients in a way, and I thought, okay, now this is something I got to study even deeper, and so I did get myself certified, and I got into other courses and delved into Eastern practices. Those were trusted for thousands of years, and I thought, okay, this is the way I have to go, and this is what my path is. And of course, there were more challenges thrown at me because as Dad's care became more intense and Mom was breaking more rest, but she was insisting she didn't need any more help. Um, she and this happened at a time when we were almost losing Dad. She was diagnosed with a Parkinson's-like condition, and that was you know big a big boulder that was thrown at us. But anyway, I thought, okay, with my knowledge, I'm not going to um, make her body get assaulted with even more chemicals because, first of all, Parkinson's affects the nervous system and the gut, and I don't want her to suffer even more. So I looked into natural therapies again and found them and put her on some. And within a few months, even her tremors disappeared completely and they didn't come back. But she finally had to get on the medications because she had to have a dental procedure done. And that's when they told me to take her off the natural supplements for like 2 weeks. And within that little span of time, she just couldn't walk. Like she developed this terrible pain on her right knee that she couldn't even put her foot down, and she had to be rushed to the hospital. And there they put her on the medications, and that's how she got on the medications. But
Mm.
again, after rehab, I managed to get her on a lower dose and introduce more of the natural therapies, and that's how I managed her care. And I was the primary caregiver. And of course, I was also working. I couldn't leave my job because I needed the money as well to take care of her. And and I was losing sleep. So I was in this situation again. And then I looked at myself and what I was doing, because, when you're in that situation, you're so like tunnel vision and you don't look at your own self. You only look at what you have to do next for someone else. At least it was that way for me. And I'm sure many of your listeners might be in that same situation too. Like we are all caregivers, but we don't care for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay. And I also felt ashamed of myself because I was a holistic therapist, supposed to be, and I was not taking care of myself. Like, how could I serve others without looking after myself? And then I noticed even my husband, he's in respiratory therapy and he had to be on call most of the time. And he was also losing sleep. And so I thought, okay, at least the little sleep that they're getting, it has to be deep sleep. And so I introduced a few other nutritional and supplemental protocols, easy ones, that we took on ourselves, and we got some really good sleep. And things started to look up because I forgot to mention, but even before I noticed all this, before I realized all this, is when I noticed that during the daytime, even though I was energetic, even though I was awake, even though I was awake on just a few hours of sleep a night, I was getting dizzy spells during the day. And that was
Mm.
not like me. And I had no problems with my blood pressure or anything. So I knew, okay, this is the lack of sleep catching up with me. And that's how I thought, okay, yes, let me, do something before it turns into something worse. And that's what my call and my mission is to actually spread the word that, when you're a caregiver, sometimes you don't ask for help when you need it. So I'm encouraging everyone to actually ask for the help you need when you need it, because you can be your best self only, you can serve others best only when you are your best self.
Yeah. So true. Yeah, thank you for sharing all that.
Right.
Uh, some of these natural remedies, are they like supplements you take? Is it food? Is it essential oils? What is it?
Yes, yes, I employ all of that. So I mainly focus on food because through food itself, you can uh, get a lot of nutrition. But I'm very creative in the kitchen, and so I have ways that like recipes that I create that help one nutrient absorb the other in a way.
Hmm.
So that's what I used to do for my mom. Of course, I would taste test everything so that you know it was palatable and tasty, and she yummed them up, so I knew I was doing okay. So uh, and that I got that validation there. Um, yeah, so I use mostly nutrition. Of course, when some people have certain um, deficiencies, supplements are called for when they need a little higher dose, and but sometimes even just some therapies natural therapies that don't require any ingestion of food or supplements can be done that actually help the body to regain the energy and to relax. And these are simple things that you can do as you go about your day.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So when a client comes to you or someone comes to you for help, do you provide them with like a meal plan or
I can
what
do
is
that
that?
if they want. Yeah. It depends. So, first of all, if they're on medications, of course, they have to check, with their medical doctor. I cannot tell them to get off medications. Only did it for my parents. I can't tell anyone to get off
Right.
medications. So, and of course, depending on their situation, they may need to avoid certain foods for a little while. I mean, even those who have food intolerances, it's not that you have to avoid that food for life. Of course, in some cases, yes, maybe a peanut allergy or something like that is life-threatening, but in some cases where they have intolerances and sensitivities, usually a correction of the digestive system can reset everything so that they can eat those foods again. So, and not only the digestive system. I mean, it's all connected. The whole. That's why I like holistic care because everything is connected. You see the whole body as one, not as separate systems, and you don't have different departments. They all work
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah. What did your parents' doctors say when you were taking them off the medication and they were actually improving?
Well, actually, see, that's the thing. At the time, I was kind of naive, and I didn't even tell the doctor that I was taking. I took him off the medications, so the doctor thought he was still on the medications.
Oh,
I mean, I should
interesting.
have told him in a way, so that
Yeah,
but yeah, but
I
that was
see.
early in my career, so I was kind of afraid,
I
you
see.
know.
Do you
Yeah.
have other clients that have gone off medication?
I mean, they have reduced some of the medications, and all, actually, well, I can tell you that. Well, actually, even my husband, like he used to take, um, certain medications for like back pain and things like that because he is into physical therapy and all of that too, and he used to get sprains and aches, and he used to use all these, the pharmaceuticals. But
Yeah,
now with the ones that I provide, he doesn't have to take anything like that.
that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Oh, thank you so much. You said you're going to share a, you have like an ebook or something you were going to share with
yeah. I
everyone?
have like a free. It's a checklist to
Perfect.
get proper sleep. So there are certain things that have to be in place so that your body can actually relax, so that you can get the proper sleep you need. Because it's only during sleep that your body detoxifies and releases all the bad stuff and gets you ready for the next day. So that you can be the best person you can be. And sleep is one of the foundations of my practice. It's a huge foundation. I mean, I also stress the spiritual and the mind body connection, as well as proper nutrition, and and also connection with others. That's important too.
Yeah, those are all keys that I promote as, most important
Oh
things
yeah,
about, getting health
right.
and wellness is such great stuff. We're going to have you share your links, especially to
Okay.
your free checklist in the comments.
All right. Thank
So
you.
yeah, hang on after the interview here. We'll talk a little bit about how you do that. And
Okay.
but is there anything that we didn't get to that you want to share?
I mean, if anybody wants to have a uh, like a discovery call with me, I offer like a 20-minute session as well. So, you're free to book that. I can provide that link if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be great.
in the
Yeah, we
process.
really appreciate you doing this, Stacey. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, it's okay. I'm in the process of creating some other books and things too. So, and also working on a few projects. So, yeah, uh, I can share that later
Awesome.
if you'd like. Yeah.
yeah, we'll definitely want you to, we'll have you come back and you can share anything that you're working on. And
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
definitely come back into the group. And yeah, we'd love to have you. So yeah, thank you again for doing this. If you resonate with Stacey Ann and you want to learn more, she's going to put her checklist, a link to her
Yes,
checklist in the comments, and she'll put a link to a call with her so
yes.
you can see if you want to work with her. And yeah, any last words, Stacey Ann, before we wrap this up?
Um, so one thing that I'm also big on is, you know, optimizing your health. So, I mean, you may not have any disease or like condition that you want to address, but you can always optimize your health and make it better because we are surrounded by so many pollutants and contaminants and toxins. So that's another aspect of what I emphasize, um, freeing yourself of harmful contaminants. Um, my practice is called Ferns Holistic Consulting, and I go with the FHC, so free from harmful contaminants, foundational healthy choices. Yeah, that's how I do it.
Wow, love it. Love it. That's great. Really
Thank you,
appreciate
Rick.
the work that you're doing. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Hopefully, it's a little frozen for me, so hopefully it's not frozen for everybody else. Thank you again. If you resonate with Stacey Ann, definitely check out our links. If you resonate with what we're doing here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, comment, interview, and we'll let you shine here in the group. And you can share your gifts or you can share your struggles, and we'll get you the support you need. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you at the next one.